no, I'm not going to blame the baby. The baby is not the reason why I'm late. I'm simply late because I'm irresponsible. Although I'm not a really responsible parent, it turns out. My wife is very happy with my daddy abilities. I can soothe the baby. I soothe the baby. What I do is I gently move his hand towards his lips and he starts sucking and starts crying. So like he sucks his own finger, stops crying. My wife doesn't know that. I'm not telling her. I'm not telling her the secret. It's a lot better if it gives the impression that I have like the magical means of making him stop crying. Because like sometimes they cry for no reason. Like they're fed, the diaper is changed, everything is fine, but they're crying. I think they're crying because they have belly aches. So there's nothing you can do about it. And you just need to wait until the tummy ache is over. But I know the secret. I read it online actually. Like this is what the pediatricians recommend. Apparently when they grow older, they suck their own fingers by themselves, so they soothe themselves. But they don't have the ability to do that when they're very young. Like the muscles aren't fully developed and the nervous system isn't fully developed. So they can't just, yeah. But anyway, right. I am the baby whisperer. Yeah. No, she doesn't watch my stream. Jesus Christ, duct tape, holy shit. You know, when I was at law school, like, you hear just so many cases of parents being irresponsible, and you gotta wonder, like, what the hell are they thinking? Like, how did they think it would work? And most of the cases of irresponsible and abusive parents have to do with the fact that the baby is crying, and they don't know what to do to make him stop. So they do exactly what you suggested. Like there was a case, I think in the United States, they literally taped him to a wall. It's like, again, I understand the vexation, but it's not something that you can't get over it as an adult. I mean, it is gut wrenching to hear that your child is crying and there's nothing you can do, right? Because he's in pain. Like he's got abdominal pain. That's what's happening. Like it's got a lot of gas. It's just not processing properly. So there's nothing you can do about it. You can, you already fed him. You already cleaned his nappy. Like there's not much else you can do, and you gotta wait. So, hearing him cry and in pain, it's heartbreaking. But there are some people that are unhinged, man. And again, like the cases that I heard at law school, Jesus fucking Christ. The audio is low. Let me check. Well, it can't get any higher because baby is sleeping. So, let me see. I soothe the baby until the tummy ache is over. But again, it's fine. Just raise your volume. Jesus Christ. Yeah. I can't start screaming. I'm sorry. I used earplugs when my nephew was a baby. See, I'm always afraid of doing that because, like, what if it's something important? And actually, there was something important. My wife left to the bathroom, and apparently the baby woke up. And the first thing he did was started to struggle, because like when they cry, they move around a lot. And he actually managed to pull the bed sheet on top of his face, and I heard it from here. And I went there and I fixed the problem. But like, if I had earbuds, as you're saying, like that's not good. So you need to be vigilant. This is just one moment of carelessness. Just one moment where you don't pay attention and that you regret it. So no earbuds, no. Like I want to hear him. The sound of an infant crying sends me to a rage. I will never be a parent. I would never survive. It is true because it's actually designed by evolution for you to feel this way. A baby crying is actually the sound that causes distress in humans. And it's important as a biological mechanism so that you want to give attention and make him stop crying, right? Like it's actually designed, specifically tailored. It's not a bug, it's a feature. But when it's your kid, like, trust me, it's different. Because I also hated hearing kids crying, and I couldn't stand kids, actually. I just don't like them. But when it's your kid, it's completely different. Are you afraid of sudden infant death syndrome? No, I'm not afraid because he's healthy and our family is healthy, right? Like both me and his mother are fine. So like there's no... Now bad shit can always happen, right? And that's something you can't avoid. But no, it's not something that I'm constantly worried about. I mean, I'm more of a stoic type of person. things that are outside of my area of influence, I just try not to think about them. So, was Moist advised to step back by someone from YouTube? I will discuss that in a bit. Let's just do a little bit of a warm up, get more people to join the stream, and then we'll talk about Moist Critical. Apparently, Moist Critical went after Synthetic Man, and Synthetic Man just went on like nothing happened. Critical gets pushed back once. No, I'll explain why that is. I'll give me a little bit of time. Jesus, you guys already want to get into the nitty gritty, and then I'll have nothing to talk about. Believe it or not, Moist Critical is not that interesting, so that I can't talk about him for like 5 hours on end. I don't have the ability, so I'll just be able to cover it in 20 minutes. Let me see, how many viewers does Synthetic Man have? I heard about him, but yeah, he's got similar to the numbers of subscribers I got. Right. I will tell you this, chat. He plays by different rules. It's one thing when you have like 100,000 subscribers like I do, and it's completely different when you have like 9 million subscribers. And the thing is, like, when you have 100,000 like I do, it's very easy to say a lot of shit and no one records you, no one clips you, no one notices what you say. But when you have 9 million subscribers, every little word that you say, everything that you speak is going to get clipped. And you're not going to get like 100 haters, you're going to get tens of thousands of haters. So this is why everyone that's big, like, you're not going to see an edgy 9 million subscriber guy. It just doesn't happen. Like, most of these individuals, they're very milquetoast, they're very fence-sitting. And they also have contacts with YouTube. I genuinely believe that in order to reach that level in 2024, you cannot do it without YouTube's approval. Like, they actually gatekeep and prevent that from happening, because it's all about the algorithm, right? I mean, look at Moist Critical. Let's be honest for a bit, right? I can understand why Mr. Beast has the numbers he's got. Because Mr. Beast has high production value. He spends a lot of money on the videos. I don't care if you like him or not. But you can tell that it's an official studio that is in charge of doing what Mr. Beast does. And making his videos are extremely expensive. What does Moist Critical do? He sits in a room and talks. And it's not like he's spreading some ancient philosophy. It's not like he's opening your eyes to the universe. It's not like he's framing things in a way that you never thought about. No, he's basically like saying the news. And is having like the most milquetoast opinions ever. The type of opinions that you can have at the workplace, you know? Like saying stuff that makes sure no one gets offended, no one gets upset. So there is no way that you can convince me that you get 9 million people from saying just that, unless the algorithm is out there to help you out. I mean, look, I will put it this way. Asmongold, right? At least Asmongold, like, sometimes phrases things in a way that it makes sense. Like I can see that Asmongold is presented with a situation, and his wheels are turning in his head, and within like 10 or 20 seconds, he has a good take on it. And the good take is, like, he can either take something and simplify it so that it's now politically correct and acceptable to say. He can explain it in a way that it makes sense, right? He can bypass, like, certain words or phrases that will get other people to shut down and not listen. So, like, Asmongold actually has talent. Moist Critical, I mean, maybe I don't follow him, but it's just, like, 9 million subscribers? Like, I would believe he had, like, 200,000. You know, but like 9 million, really? Like, PewDiePie was legitimately entertaining. Yeah, like PewDiePie, again, he had the charisma, he knew exactly what to say, his videos were well edited, and he was doing like things that no one was doing at the time, which is Let's Plays. Like, if you guys remember, when PewDiePie came out, like, a lot of people weren't doing Let's Plays because it was a very expensive thing to do. You didn't have the same technology that you have now. You didn't have OBS. You didn't have the ability to record unless you had a very high-end powered machine. Because, like, I remember back then, if I tried to record by gaming, the gaming would lag like shit. So you needed, like, a really good processor. You needed a really good graphics card. So not a lot of people could do Let's Plays. The only ones that did were like Darkside Phil and PewDiePie. I think like PewDiePie was actually using his own computer to record, while Darkside Phil was using a separate camera. So like Darkside Phil wasn't even live, but he was like filming the television set while playing. So I can understand why PewDiePie got famous. Is because he was doing something at a time when there wasn't a lot of competition. I like Synthetic Man. He gets unnecessary hate. I think he actually talked about me and Arch. I have no ill will against him. I don't know why people dislike him. I think he's got like more right-wing takes, and maybe that's why people don't enjoy Synthetic Man. I just don't watch it because it's the same genre that I do. So what happens if I watch commentators that are talking about movies and video games and shit is that I hear what they're saying and I'm like, oh, well, that's a good point. And then when I cover the subject, I feel like using that point. And when I use that point, people accuse me of stealing. So in order to avoid that, I just don't watch many people that do the same things that I do. Like when I go on YouTube, I usually watch anime reviews. I watch Game of Thrones reviews. I watch that type of shit. Hi V, hope your day is good. What's on the menu? Well, we're going to talk about Moist Critical. Okay, so why did Moist Critical decide to quit YouTube? Well, the controversy happens when, and I pointed it on my other channel. He was talking with Sneeko. Again, I don't know Sneeko, but I understand he's an edgy boy. And Sneeko basically says, do you think people who are under 18 should get married? Like, that was the question. And Moist Critical says no. He doesn't believe that people who are under 18 should be able to get married. And then Sneeko goes, it's like, but do you believe that someone who's under 18 should be able to get puberty blockers and consent to a gender surgery? And Moist Critical thinks about it and he says, well, actually, if the parents are okay and if the minor is okay, then sure. So the reason a lot of people are upset about it is because, first of all, when you act like a liberal, you trigger the most smug, the most smug, arrogant type of person out there, right? Like, 'cause this is what liberals are like. It's why a lot of people can't stand liberals. It's not necessarily just the ideas that they have, but the smugness of it all, right? It's like, I'm educated, you're not, you know, like that type of thing. People don't like moralizing. A lot of Moist Critical videos are about moralizing. It's something that I try to avoid doing. Believe it or not, most people do not enjoy to be told what to do or to be told that they're evil. Especially not by strangers. Like, most people are willing to accept criticism from their friends and family, but they're not going to accept criticism from a stranger on the internet, especially who is being smug about it. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, literally anything, right? Like, people don't like that. But a lot of content creators enjoy doing that. So they breed animosity, and the animosity fosters, and they're just waiting for an excuse. And in the case of Moist Critical, the excuse has presented itself. Now, the thing is, Moist Critical positioned himself in a very difficult situation. He can come up and say, I thought about it and I changed my mind. I think that people who are under the age of 18 cannot consent to puberty blockers. But if he says that, he gets the entire LGBT lobby up his ass. He's going to probably get sponsors trying to drop him. He's going to get people that dig into his past. He's going to get Mr. Beasted, pretty much. And I think like this is what he is afraid of. Because when you're on the internet, especially when you have like 9 million subscribers and God knows how many videos, there is no fucking way you haven't said something edgy at some point in time. There is no way that you haven't done something that is a soundbite which is able to get you canceled. And if usually people don't research into you because it's like incredibly boring. Imagine watching Moist Critical videos from 2016. No one wants to do that. But when you piss off the internet, that's what you get. Now, if you have 9 million subscribers, it's enough for 1% of them to actually start digging into your past and look into your previous videos. And they're going to eventually find the sound bites. They're going to find the sound clips. They're going to take you out of context. Sometimes that might not even be necessary. So if he was to go out and say, you know what, I changed my mind, then he would get those people. Then he would get like the individuals that are incredibly livid. It's like, how can you say something like that? Oh, you blah, 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 right? Now, if he was to say, well, actually, I think that people who are under the age of 18 can get married, then he would be labeled a pedophile. So, no matter which stance he takes, it's a lose-lose situation, which is why he decided to not play. And he's like, I'm going to take a break from the internet. Which, honestly, is the smartest thing to do if you want to avoid the shitstorm. Again, you look at what happened with Dr. Disrespect. Look what happened with Mr. Beast. Look what happened with other celebrities. The moment you enter a controversy, you have people digging into your past. And some people, may not care. Other people may be worried. Depends. But I do think, not playing is the correct PR move. Like, if I was the PR company and I saw what Voice Critical did, I would be like, look, you have positioned yourself in a situation that is inconsistent, right? You cannot say that people who are under the age of 18 cannot get married, but they can consent to puberty blockers. Like, you need to be consistent. Either they can consent or they can't consent to both, right? But if you choose one, you're going to automatically piss off a large group of people. Like, no matter what you choose, you're going to upset people. So, the only win here is for you to take a break from the internet, chill the fuck out, and then you come back and you don't mention it again. So, that is the only solution. I think this is the advice that he looked at. And this is why he chose to take a step back. I assume he needs to address if he wants to live stream again. Kinda. It depends when he's coming back. Like, if he comes back right before the elections when people are talking about Trump and shit, that's different. The thing is, like, look, if he wasn't a person that liked to moralize, he wouldn't even need to address it. He could have just said, yeah, I don't like casting moral issues. What I think doesn't matter, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's fine. But, like, when you make so many videos where you moralize about issues, then people expect you to keep having takes, right? Like, if you had so many hot takes on other people, well, let's see what's your take on this. I think Critical made his career at being as milquetoast as possible, and where activists thrive is at making it seem what they advocate for is non-controversial. Yeah, like, the problem with liberals is that they decided around 2016 to stop engaging with right-wingers. Like, I don't know how many of you remember the no platform for fascist thing, but, like, they would label you a fascist and then block you, right? And a lot of liberals were sharing block lists with each other, and they were just flat out refusing to engage with the other side. So what happened is, like, they got together and they started self-radicalizing more and more and more, to the point where their takes are so foreign to everyone else that they're weird, right? But they think everyone else is weird, but everyone else is just being normal. Everyone else is just stuck in the 2016 era. So this is why I explain, like, you end up with a situation where even though what Sneeko and Voice Critical said is considered outrageous, I can make the argument that what Sneeko said is more acceptable worldwide than what Voice Critical said. Because what did Sneeko say? Well, Sneeko said that people under the age of 18 should be able to get married. Okay, so like a 16 and a 17-year-old getting married is something that is possible in over half the countries in the world, including the United States. Like, there are places in the US where you have Romeo and Juliet law, and you can have, like, two people who are 16 marrying with each other. Like, that is normal, right? That's the legality there. So, with that in mind, let's look at what Voice Critical said. Voice Critical said that kids under the age of 18 should be able to consent to puberty blockers. Like, that is an extreme take. Before 2016, you wouldn't be able to find any nation on Earth that allowed for this. And even today, More than 50% of the nations do not allow for this. And even nations that do allow it, like for instance the United Kingdom, are now reversing their decisions. So the more outrageous take out of the two is the one that Boys Critical had. And I'm saying this objectively. This is not my opinion. This is just like looking at the world and the legislations from country to country to country, looking at the trends. Right? Like Sneeko is a Muslim. Like that's also important. Yeah, you're asking a Muslim about when you should get married. Like he's going to give you the Muslim take. Now you can disagree with the Muslim take. I'm not saying that you should agree with it. I don't agree with it either. But it is less extreme than the liberal take. Like I'm sorry to say, like when you put them one next to the other and you gotta pick one, Moist Critical is the most extreme take that he had. So yeah. Hello, Dunstan. It's good to hear you as well. Can I assume that he lives in California? I mean, there these opinions make sense. Probably, yeah, like it's the liberal collective that is in with, right? Like they actually believe that this is something that the entire world agrees with, and he got a shock to reality and noticed that even amongst his own subscribers, even amongst his own peers, they don't agree with his take. So he's in Florida? Oh, I see. Okay. But it doesn't matter where he lives. He lives on Twitch, right? When you live in Twitch, that is a place far more radical than even California itself, and also less profitable. Isn't Sneeko only a Muslim the way Andrew Tate is? I don't know. I don't follow Sneeko, and I don't follow Andrew Tate. So I can't actually say whether or not he is a Muslim. I know he's a convert, right? So I don't know if he knows the 5 pillars of Islam, or if he goes to the mosque, or if he prays. But like when you ask a Muslim about like when is the age of marriage, you're going to get the Muslim take. I mean, it's expected, right? It's like there's nothing to be shocked there. So yeah, I think this is why he took a break. Speaking of which, Dr. Disrespect came back. Does the average Muslim know the 5 pillars? I think they do, man. I think they do. If I know the 5 pillars, I would be shocked if the average Muslim doesn't know the 5 pillars. Believe it or not, Muslims actually know the Quran a lot better than Christians know the Bible. They're a lot more well-versed into the teachings of the Quran than Christians are into the Bible. I'm pretty sure that like if you went back in time, in medieval Europe, like most Christians would probably know more about the Bible than people do today. But yeah, like, do I have any Muslims in the chat? I'm actually curious. Do you guys know the 5 pillars of Islam? What are the 5 pillars of Islam? I'm actually curious if you guys know. Don't fucking Google it. If you Google the 5 pillars of Islam, that's not helpful. Like, I'm genuinely curious to know if people are aware of it or not. Tate is protesting at the French embassy in Bucharest. I mean, Tate requires a lot of public support right now. So, this is why he's doing what he is doing. What are the 5 pillars of Islam? Man, just no. Let me see if I actually remember them. Now, I don't know the actual Arabic name associated with them. The what did they call it? The Shahada, I think, is like the first one, but like I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. I don't like the first one, but like I don't know all the 5. So let me think. Actually, like, no, most of them know them. Okay, Ramadan is one of them. So you need to uphold the Ramadan. You need to go to Mecca at least once in your life. So like the pilgrimage. Okay, those are 2. You need to pray every day. Like that's the 3rd one. God, I used to know them. give to charity, but like they have like a different way of giving to charity. Like for them, it's an obligation, right? I mean, like for Christians, it's an obligation as well. But like for Muslims, I think you need to do it consistently. The fifth one. Shit. I don't know the fifth pillar, chat. I don't think I know the fifth pillar. But see, I knew four of them. I think the fifth one is that you have to declare your faith in Allah. It's like the creed in Christianity, where you say that there is no God besides God, kind of like that. I think that may be the fifth pillar. Please ask ChatGPT about the 5 pillars. I mean, I can, but that's cheating. Hold on. Let me ask the ChatGPT. Now I'm curious. Because I want to know if I actually knew. That's the thing. What are the 5 pillars of Islam? It is actually Shahada. Okay, so the first one is the faith, the declaration of saying there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. So there, I actually got that right. Charity is the third one, zakat. The giving of a fixed portion of one's wealth to those in need is an obligation for Muslims to assist those who are less fortunate and to support the welfare of the community. The salat, the prayer, the performance of the 5 daily prayers at prescribed times. These prayers are a direct link between the worshipper and Allah and are performed facing the Kaaba in Mecca. Saum, fasting during Ramadan. Fasting from dawn to sunset during the holy month of Ramadan. This fasting includes abstinence from eating, drinking, smoking, and sex. It is a time of spiritual reflection, self-purification, and increased devotion. And finally, the Hajj, the pilgrimage to Mecca. Fuck, I actually knew them, see? I remember them. There was a time when I actually looked into a lot of religions, and I found like the 5 pillars to be interesting. Like, there's no way that a Muslim doesn't know them. I do not believe that there is a Muslim out there that doesn't know them. Unless they recently converted or something. I'm not a Muslim. I'm not a Muslim. Just like, look, I know stuff without actually being part of the group. Like, you can experience things without being part of the ideology. Atheists know more about Christianity than Christians on average. That is true, but to be fair, if you were to go back in time and you would give me a Christian from the medieval times, probably they would know more about the Bible than I do. Fun fact, Islam didn't always pray towards Mecca, which is a fairly recent change. I wonder, like, if you're in the Kaaba, how are you supposed to pray? I think you're supposed to face the rock. Like, for those of you who don't know, and I may be wrong on this one, but my memory is that the Kaaba represents a stone that God gave on earth. So it's like a stone from heaven. And it's in the kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and it's where the pilgrimage goes, right? Now, there was a time where people actually went into the Kaaba. I don't know why, though. Like, there's still pictures of it. I think it's like a military group from the United States. Let me see. Hold on. Because I think, like, the Kaaba was flooded, and they sent, like, troops inside the Kaaba. You know what? I can ask ChatGPT. Were there military troops inside the Kaaba? There has been instances of historical conflicts and protection measures around the ground mosque, but the interior of the Kaaba has not used for military. Okay, so I'm remembering it incorrectly. Did people go inside the Kaaba? People have entered inside the Kaaba. The interior is usually closed to the public, but it has been accessed on special occasions, and certain individuals, such as religious leaders, heads of state, and certain dignitaries, the access is typically very limited and tightly controlled. The interior is simple, with the floor made of marble and limestone and walls covered with marble panel about halfway up. There are 3 wooden pillars inside that support the roof. The walls are covered with a cloth curtain known as the kishwa. And on the inside, similar to the exterior, there are no windows, but there is a single door on the eastern side through which the entry is made. While it is not common for the general public to enter the Kaaba, there are rare occasions when the interior is cleaned, a ceremony known as cleaning of the Kaaba, which takes place twice a year. During the ceremony, a select few officials and invited guests may enter to assist with the cleaning process. This event is highly ritualistic and holds significant of spiritual importance. Overall, entering the Kaaba is a highly exclusive event reserved for specific times and individuals, and it is done with great reverence and respect. Hold on, was the Kaaba flooded? The Kaaba has experienced flooding on several occasions throughout history. The most notable floods occurred before the modern drainage and infrastructure improvement in Mecca. The city is situated in a valley surrounding the mountains. This is what I knew, right? So the flood occurred in 1941, before World War II, where water level rose high enough to submerge the floor of the Grand Mosque and the Kaaba itself. And there are photographs showing people swimming around the Kaaba. The water reached significant heights, and pilgrims could be seen performing the tawaf by swimming. Flooding has occurred at various other times, especially during the periods of intense rainfall. However, in recent decades, Saudi authorities have implemented extensive drainage systems to prevent the flooding. Yeah, so I remember something, because there's a black and white photo with military-looking personnel going inside the Kaaba, and I think this is from the 1941. It doesn't matter if Saudi Arabia doesn't have rivers. Like, every now and then, every couple decades or so, there is rain, even in Saudi Arabia. And if you don't have drainage system, because they're in the desert, you know, water goes down. And if you have a construction there, which has stairs that go down, it gets flooded. You grew up in the Orthodox Church, right? Orthodox Christianity is easily able to take on Islam in a debate. They have no problem taking on Protestants for the most part, though. I mean, most religious debates are not something that is... It's not that it's difficult to have. It's like, they will say, well, Muhammad existed, and the Orthodox Church goes like, no, we don't believe he did. And the Orthodox Church goes like, Jesus was the Son of God, and Muslims go, no, we don't believe he was. Like, what else is there to debate? Like, you have different faith systems that are based on faith. Like, you need to believe, to have faith into your holy text. So, like, there's no amount of persuasion. There's no, you know... Usually persuasion happens in 2 ways, and this is historically true. Well, actually, it's more than 2 ways. One of the way the persuasion happens is through violence, right? So, like, for instance, you have the Catholics. I think, like, Hungarians are Catholics, right? And they conquer Transylvania, which is Orthodox. And then they say, okay, well, if you become Catholics now, you get access to these perks. You know, like, you're going to be able to use the court system. You're going to be treated as first-class citizens. So now there's an incentive to convert. It's not because of, like, theological arguments. It's not because you believe. It's just like you either convert or you live as a second-class citizen. In other places, it can be even more brutal. It's like you convert or you die. So a lot of people will make that choice. That's the one of the ways to do it, right? Like, through violence. The other way of doing it is because people like the lifestyle and the community of the faith. So, for instance, imagine you're in Britain and you look at all of the liberalism fruits. You look at, all the LGBTQ activism. You look at all of these, new and broad ways of thinking. And you're like, well, I don't like any of this. You know, this liberal ideology is very chaotic. It doesn't have any hierarchy. It doesn't have any meaning. It doesn't fulfill my life. So you choose to become a Muslim. right? That now you don't necessarily become a Muslim because you read the Quran and you agree with it. You become a Muslim because you're looking at how Muslims live and you're thinking that their lifestyle is more appealing to what you want, is more fulfilling to what you want than what is offered to you. Right? So like that would be the second way. It's like you look at the religious community and you enjoy the way they're living their life. You believe that there is wholesomeness in it. Like for instance, you can be an American and you can see an Orthodox church and you're taken aback by the hymns, you're taken aback by the iconography. You see the Orthodox community getting together and helping each other, and you're like, okay, well, this is a lot better than what the Democrats offer me. I want to be a part of that, right? So like that's another way conversions can happen. They can happen through marriage. Like you marry someone of a different faith, and in order for her parents to consent, you gotta change your religion. Now there's also like political reasons of why people used to do it. Like the Vikings converted to Christianity not because like they believed in Jesus, but because they had like the use of religion to justify their rule. It was a lot better for the nobility to be Christians then. And then you could also make deals and trade a lot easier if you are a Christian. So that's the main reasons why people convert. They don't convert because, oh, they listen to a Muslim that's an imam talking to a priest that's an Orthodox, and they thought that the priest was making better arguments. Like that probably never happens. Charlie fails at debates, but he wasn't wrong in the debate between Sneeko. Well, that's not what his own chat says. And at the end of the day, when you're a content creator, what your chat says is very important. It's kind of like the woke ideology if you think about it, right? Like you don't actually have to believe it, but if you want to advance in a corporation, if you want to not get canceled, you gotta toe the line, right? You gotta say the correct things, you gotta speak the correct speech, which is what a lot of people in Hollywood are doing. So that's kind of like converting. It's not necessarily that they're listening to woke activists and are like, oh yeah, like this makes sense. You know, this whole thing with white privilege. Yeah, I genuinely believe it 100%. It's my parents' fault for being shitbags that people are having it now so bad. So maybe if I hire some uneducated twats that think they're educated because they went to gender studies and are now charging over 20 grand a month, yeah, if I hire them, America can become less racist. Like all of the activism that happened in the past is kind of meaningless. No, what we need to do is to hire the cat ladies that say teach men not to rape, and all of a sudden the rape culture will go away. Yeah, that sounds so fucking reasonable. I mean, sure, why not? Yeah, I don't think that's how it happens. You know, it usually happens with BlackRock getting like, hey, do you want to raise your ESG and get some cheap loans? Then hire some activists and grifters in your company. That's how people convert. It's not that people are listening to the debates. V, are you a captive of your chat? Well, let me put it this way. Let's say that tomorrow I become a communist, right? And I have like the most dumb shit communist takes imaginable. I genuinely, like, unironically start being like Dev. What do you think will happen? People will unsubscribe, right? And after people unsubscribe, I'm talking to myself and the walls. So the idea that content creators are not beholden to their chat is absolutely ridiculous. But as I said before, in the case of Moist Critical, if you piss off the chat and you get haters, then people start digging through your past. People start looking for the sound bites. People start looking for the clips where you said the N-word and the edgy jokes and all that shit. It's what happened to Mr. Beast. So, like, that is actually what it means that he is beholden to his chat. Like, he can't piss people off. Like, you can't... It's kind of like, what was her name? Silver Wolf? Silver Veil? I forgot her name, right? This YouTuber, Vtuber, believes that trans women are women, which is a political statement, by the way, because it doesn't just mean what you believe, right? It's not just like an affirmation of faith. It comes with a package. Like, people expect more out of you, and one of the things people expect is that you don't get to play the wizard game online. Because if you play the wizard game, you commit trans genocide, according to them, right? So you're a disgusting person. So Silvervale goes around and she says, oh yeah, I'm going to play this game. And all of a sudden, she doesn't understand why her community turns on her, while people are digging through her shit, while people are trying to cancel her. She doesn't understand any of that. And the reason this is happening is because she went against her community, which she herself fostered over the years. Like when you're putting out a certain content and you're making certain statements, then yeah, like people will feel betrayed if you do a 180. If you go out and you say, well, actually, you know, I'm going to play this game whether you like it or not, and people don't like it. But it's true though. It's absolutely true. Like if you look at the VTubers that were getting ass rammed by their own community, it's the ones that were catering to those specific communities. Notice how Angry Joe didn't get any backlash. Notice how Asmongold wasn't getting any backlash. Meanwhile, Hassan Piker was like, I want to play this game, and then everyone is playing this game, but I understand the boycott. I fully understand. I fully commit. It's like a man living under the terror of his own community. At least the thing with me is that every video that I make is 100% what I believe. I have never ever said something that I don't believe, just for the sake of popularity. You know, like, even though I am aware of certain topics and certain things that if I were to spin them in a certain way, and I would have started making those videos, I would probably get more subscribers, I would probably get more people. Like, for instance, shitting on dev, right? If I started shitting on dev and getting here guests and do it constantly every single fucking day, oh, I'd probably get all the way up to 700 viewers. I could do, like, the post-Archcast and just, like, take clips of dev and just give you my take about them. But I don't want to do that because it's not the type of person I am. I don't like attacking other content creators. It doesn't mean that I never do it. Like, sometimes I do it when I get really pissed off. But overall, I think it's like already that the platforms are against us and it's already difficult for independent people to get their voices out, that I don't want to start more infighting. I don't want to start more shit like that. Sure, you know, like every now and then I will give you my 2 cents on another content creator, dev included, and I'll say what I think and leave it at that, but I'm not going to make it into a habit, basically. Korsher is hated by the V-tweeters. Of course, like every right-wing person is hated by the V-tweeters. The V-tweeters are some of the worst, man. Like for those of you who don't know what a V-tweeter is, it's a person that doesn't actually do VTubing because they can't afford the model or they don't have the confidence to put themselves out there. Or if they do VTubing, they're incredibly talentless, so they don't have like more than 2 views. But they have a lot of fucking takes on Twitter. They have a lot of takes. It's like, how can we allow this Nazi in our VTwitter community? How can we allow this person that sells this type of merch in our VTuber community? And I'm like, how can you not shut the fuck up? Like, look at the successful VTubers, right? Look at Gargura, look at Amelia Watson, look at that Ripper chick, whatever the fuck her name is. Do they ever talk that much mad shit on the internet? Do you hear Iron Mouse go around moralizing to people? No, they shut the fuck up. What do? They focus on their channel. They focus on their content. That's what they fucking do. So maybe you should do that as well, and instead of 2 views, you'd have 4 views. But no, like, they go around and they're like, oh my god, how can we allow? How can we? Because you don't have any fucking power. That's why you allow. You're acting as if you're the fucking gatekeeper. You're acting like you're in a public park and then going like, how we allow these people on our road? This is like, you're a crazy old man screaming at the sky. Yeah, the pre-debut bullshit. V, you are a successful VTuber? I think I'm in between. I can't call myself successful, but I can't call myself, like, unsuccessful either. Like, if you can make a living out of it, then I would say that you are successful. But obviously there's room to grow, you know? And to be honest, I wouldn't want to grow. I wouldn't want to have, like, thousands of people watching me. I just don't. Like, where I am now, it's really fine. I'm really happy. Focusing on raising my kid and making people laugh is what I want. Giving people some entertainment. Not that long ago, Mouse used to stream to 300 people. Yeah, I genuinely do not know the lore behind Iron Mouse. I do know that she's popular. I don't follow these people anymore. I used to watch Gargura in the beginning with my wife. Because she was very talented. Like, she played video games, she was singing, like, she was doing all this cool stuff. Then I liked Amelia Watson more because she was toxic. And that was like my VTuber phase, and then I went out of it. And the reason I even liked it was because VTubers were toxic in an age of sanitization. Like the IBS just got banned from YouTube. You had like all of these terms of service that were sanitizing everything. And then you have like these cute girls coming around and saying that they want to ground pound your mom, cursing and smashing the keyboard. And I was like, okay, well, this is at least authentic. Like I can actually see a gamer behave in this manner. Because everyone else was super fake. Everyone else was like super safe. And in that world, you have these people being different because they were part of a corporation, which allowed them to actually be cheeky little shits on the internet. So that's why I like the whole VTuber thing. But now I think it's overblown. It's overrated. Everyone can be a VTuber. Back then, the cost of entry was incredibly high. Like if you wanted a good model, it would be like $2,000, $4,000. Nowadays, literally anyone can be a VTuber. So, yeah, I like Kirsche because she actually has political takes. But I don't really watch her because of the reason that I mentioned before. I don't watch people that have the same political takes as I do, because then I watch their videos and I take their arguments and talking points. And if I do that, then people say that I'm stealing from them. I raised Pippa and lost custody of her. Man, I raised so many content creators, but I usually don't talk about it. Like, I always help little people. Whatever, like, some new upstarting content creator came to me, if I had time, I would definitely try to rise them up. I'm actually very content creator friendly. I think there's, like, a few people like me out there. Styx Hexenhammer also is like me, like, he likes content creators. I want to see more individual people. That's the whole thing. Right? I want to see more people that aren't corporate. I mean, Pipa was corporate, it's true. But like when I started talking to her, she had like 100 viewers or something. I didn't expect anything in return, by the way. Like that wasn't why I helped people up. And I helped people that were left leaning and right leaning. I just want to see, less Mr. Beasts. And more like random people that have passion in what they do. I didn't raise Spoon. Spoon raised himself, actually. Yeah, the player in MMO that hates a new player, pretty much, yeah. I could make a VTube model with 20 minutes of AI arting. I don't know if you can do the layers properly for Live 2D. They need to be layered, and I don't know if the AI can actually do it. Maybe. I don't know. V, you are an e-girl who's more successful than a VTuber. Why, thank you. V is a good guy for that. Man of many connections. Yes, I'm the associator. This is like one of the strengths that I have. Is that if you're organizing like a podcast or you need interesting guests, I can get them for you because I know people. It's not that I know people that, like I know them personally and I vouch for them and I think they're good individuals. No. I was like, I have helped people in the past. And now if I go like, hey, do you want to go on a podcast? They would probably say yes because I helped them and they... It's not that they owe me one, but they would feel indebted, let's put it like this. So, it's the advantage of you get when you help little folk, right? Because sometimes the little folk grow big. And then when you need help as well, they help you out in return. It's an interesting mindset to have. It's not an obligation. Like, obviously, I can help people, and when I need their help, they're not there. Like, it happens. But it also happens that sometimes you help people, and then when you actually need to talk to them, they don't turn their back at you, Like The Godfather. Is that what The Godfather did? I guess. Chaotic AI VTube model sounds cool as fuck. I'm actually going to ask my animator if it's possible to accomplish. Because I know that you need to draw it on layers. It's the technology I use for my game. And the AI doesn't know how to draw the layers properly. So you probably can't animate it. I don't owe you shit, V, but I give money monthly anyway. Like, thank you, I appreciate it. It's not that I'm a mastermind. I genuinely think that if you help people, not only do you live a more positive life, and you don't feel that you're stressed because you got like many enemies and shit. But it's also like eventually when you need help, like someone else will help you. Cause like if you go through life never giving to charity, never helping anyone else, then if anyone was behaving like you, when you needed money, no one would give to you, and when you would need some help, no one would be there for you. So, like for instance, I got a big donation a couple of days ago, and I know this Japanese guy. He's not doing very well. He got fired from his job, which is an accomplishment in Japan, but got fired from his job, and he was looking for more work. And I gave him that money so he can translate the game. Now, I already had the translator, but I told him, it's like, look, I need to give someone else this. And right after I did that, right after I gave him the money, I got another big donation. So it's how I think it works. Like, if you help people, other people will help you. But if you're Mr. Negativity, like, I look at a lot of content creators that were into drama and trying to ruin other content creators and shit. Eventually, they got ruined as well. So I don't know, like, I don't believe in karma or anything like that, but it's funny not to notice, you know? Do I have people who I would consider an enemy? Dev and Rags, 100%, they fuck my D&D campaign. I would never play D&D with them again. If I had the opportunity of being next to Rags playing Monopoly, I would flip his board, personally. I would make it like... I don't care if he has bodyguards or anything like that. I would just risk my safety. I would go to his Monopoly board or chess or whatever he is playing, and I would flip it. I would make a purpose in this. Like, I would actually divert my way. Like, if I was across the street and I see Rags with the corner of my eyes, like, playing board games, like Magic the Gathering or some shit, I would cross the street directly to him. Like, that would be my target, and I would flip his board game. Same with Dev. 100%. 100%. No mercy. I wouldn't even feel bad about it. I would absolutely make sure that not only do I flip it, but he can't put the pieces back together to continue play it. I would probably pocket the dice or some shit. I would probably, like, steal an important piece and then look him in the eye and ask him what's he going to do about it. Yabbit Finder's Fee. Thank you, Endymion. Yeah, I remember you. You used to be in my chat a lot, and then I promoted VTubers all those years ago. Karma is Amamiro in Japan. Web novels, and it's great. I see. I don't believe in it. Like, I actually know people that are really nice, and they got stabbed in the back, and then I know people that are awful, and they're politicians. So, I don't think that karma is actually a thing, but I do believe that if you're nice to people, it puts you in a more positive mindset. Wait, what did Rags do? I'm not going to talk about it. If you don't know, you don't know. Why, thank you, Manuel. Oh, Jesus, from the capital city. A couple of beers from Bucharest. It's actually 2 beers in Yash. My fucking god, Bucharest is expensive, man. Maybe I didn't know where to go. I went to the old town, to the tourist trap in Bucharest. They have, like, these ladies that harass you. I don't know if you... Hold on, let me see if I can find you a picture. Like, this was, like, the most unpleasant experience I ever had in my home country. It's the old town in Bucharest. Where you can't walk without ladies harassing you. It's so fucking annoying. Right. So, it looks like this. So, you walk on the street, and there's all these restaurants and cafes, both to the left and to the right. And in front of everyone, I guess in this picture you don't see it because it's raining, but in front of everyone, there's like one lady. One ushikushi lady. And you're walking past her, and it's like, Don't you want to come in? Do you not want to come in? We have really good prices. We have good food. Don't you want to come in? I'm like, no. And then you make a couple more steps, and there's another like, come in, and it's like leave me alone, Jesus fucking Christ. And it's the entire street like that, the entire street, and heaven forbid you realize that, oh shit, I need to turn back because I forgot something, because then all the harassment starts again. It's not even sexual, like that's the problem. All these beautiful ladies, yeah, I know they're promoting their own restaurant, I know. But can they do it in a way that I don't feel harassed? That would be nice. Oh, you've seen that. Right. Street criers. I fucking cry a lot, yeah. Good day, I'm from USA. Oh, well. It's the most in the West doesn't know what karma is. They think it's a reward and punishment system when it isn't. It's about energy. More good, more positive energy. More evil, more negative. Ah, I see. It's kind of like most of these things, it's gotta be hard to debunk, you know? Because, like, if you have good karma and bad shit happens to you, they can be like, well, you don't have enough good energy. And if you have bad karma and good shit happens to you, it's like, well, maybe you don't have enough bad. But, like, let me put it this way. If karma was real, right? Like, let's assume that karma was real. Every single time something bad happens to you, it means you deserve it. Because in order for bad karma, like bad shit to happen to you, you need to have negative energy, right? So, because you have negative energy is why the bad stuff is happening to you. And when you do it to another person, when you do bad things to another person, it means that they also deserved it. So if you spit on another person, it's like, well, they kind of deserved it, you know? If you avoid a dog and accidentally run into a person with your car, you know, it's like you're driving, a dog comes into the way and you go, and you accidentally hit someone, yeah, well, that person probably had bad karma. So, you know, this is why I don't believe in it. Because, like, when you actually analyze it, it doesn't sound so good. It's not about reward system, yeah, but, like, they had bad energy that they attracted that shit, right? Chakra is like where the energy flows through the body, and it's kind of like, you know, the artery system, but instead of blood, you have energy. So, like, if you know the chakra points, well, actually, it's like the energy is flowing through your body, and when you feel bad or when you feel sick, it can also be because, like, the energy isn't flowing properly. So basically, it's kind of like, you know, you have your arteries and now you're hemorrhaging because, like, one artery is broken or something. So what the chakra points out is like how to heal the chakra, right? Like, you're in a bad place because the energy isn't flowing properly, and the person who understands this shit knows how to realign your energy. Yeah. That's chi. There's more to chakra points than that. Why is it that every single time I talk about some fringe shit on my channel, the type of stuff that if I go to a beer with you guys and I start talking, everyone is looking at me because everyone's like, whoa, that is some ancient wisdom shit. But when I do it on YouTube, there's at least like 4 or 5 people that are more educated than what I'm saying. It's so vexing. Like, there must be a topic that I can talk about and none of you know. I think, like, when I talked about cats, like, no one knew what to say. But other than that, it's so frustrating, man. Like, every single time I talk about some fringe, obscure shit, there's, like, some people that correct me. And it's like, yeah, what you said is 80% true, but actually, here's the 100%. And it's like, fucking hell, how did you even know about that? Chat triggering the Hindus with these definitions. Do we have Hindus in the chat? Is chakra a Hindu thing? I thought that chakra is a Chinese thing. Just talk about women. What is a woman, though? Have we discovered yet? I will tell you what is a woman. Are you guys ready for the definition of what is a woman? Matt Walsh was wondering about it and he didn't know. A woman is a person that can leave Ukraine. Like, if the border guards from Ukraine allow you to leave the country, you're a woman. Also, you need to have Ukrainian citizen only, right? So if you have like American citizenship and Ukrainian citizenship, you can be like a transgender person like that. What was the name of that lady that was constantly talking about the orcs? The orcs are coming. The orcs. But like, yeah, it's due to the fact that they had American citizenship. Another definition of woman is like if the United States goes to war, women are the people who don't get drafted. The healthy, functioning adults that don't get drafted. You need to be very specific because like liberals don't understand logic, so they will think like, oh, so like children are winning. No. It's like healthy adults of drafting age that manage to not get drafted because they are women. That's what a woman is. Jason, thank you for becoming a member. Have good energy flowing through you. Now I have Polish Zloty from Dunstan. I've seen a lot of Ukrainian refugee women who have a pin. Either they're like really good passing, which is unlikely because they look at your ID, or they bribed a guard when they were leaving, also possible, or they left before the war. Suddenly people care about biological females when the nation is actually at stake. Yeah. The best historical example of this is actually during World War I. So before World War I, in Britain, you had feminists, and feminists wanted equal rights to men. Now, interestingly enough, the women that were against feminism were actually more than the men. Like the pushback against first wave feminism wasn't from men, because men were at work. They didn't have time for that nonsense. No, it was from other women. And the other women were saying that they do not want equal rights to men because in the case of a war, and back then the idea of a war was very possible, in a case of a war, they do not want to be in the field. Interesting, right? It's kind of common sense. But anyway, but feminists didn't care about that, and they insisted. And then you have World War I. And in World War I, all of a sudden, the feminists changed their tune. Now they didn't want equal rights. Now they started the White Feather movement. The White Feather movement was in Britain where a lot of young girls would give white feathers to boys. In other words, calling them a coward. Calling them incels, basically, right? Like that was the equivalent. In order to pressure the young boys to go to the military. That is a very nice description where one girl gives a feather to a guy and he pulls out his glass eye and gives it to her because he actually did go to the front line and he lost his eye. Now, the interesting part is the arguments. Like, how did they justify moving from the idea that women should be equal to men to actually women should be able to stay at home during wartime? They justify it by saying, okay, so like we were arguing for equal rights and you men didn't want to give it to us. Well, okay, but now it's war, so you actually have to go and fulfill your duty because this is what you guys were saying all this time. So it was very easy for them to flip the script from one position to another. Hashtag draft our daughters, hashtag it's her turn. Yeah, I remember this from Hillary Clinton's campaign. It was a very good black propaganda poster. That should have been how it worked. Women should be drafted or no voting. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of immoral to be able to vote on stuff that can lead to war when you yourself don't have to go to war. So it's, like you're making all these policies and decisions that can actually push a nation towards the brink of war. But, I will give you this. Voting, like when did voting in America actually caused or ended the war in recent time? Most wars in America are not decided by the people. The people are informed. Hey, America decided to go into Israel today in order to defend them against Iran. You don't really get to decide. Like if China actually went into Taiwan tomorrow, do you think like there would be a vote in America deciding, are we going in? Are we not? No, right? Most Americans have no idea who America is at war with now. Like, if you actually ask an American, like, who is America at war with today? And the thing is, like, you also need to define what war is, because in modern times, when's the last time, like, a nation declared a war? Even the Russian-Ukraine war, from the perspective of the Russians, they don't call it a war. It's a special military operation. Now, I think, like, Israel declared war on Palestine. So that is, like, the latest war. But yeah, like, people don't get to vote on wars. It's not discussed on television. It's not like, what is your opinion of, like when is the last time you heard a Republican and a Democrat discuss about Ukraine? Let's see, who is America at war with in 2023? It's at war with Syria. It maintains a military presence in Syria, Yemen, Ukraine. While not directly at war, the US is heavily involved in supporting Ukraine. This is actually a smaller list than I expected, so it's only Syria and Yemen. Huh. And it's only in the part of having, like, a military presence in Syria and also being involved in counterterrorism operation in Yemen. Hold on, let me ask, is America at war with North Korea? Oh, it's not at war. Yeah, it's got a difficult situation there. It's a ceasefire. So it's neither peace nor war. It's in between. Boots on the ground, yes. We are supposed to use an active Congress to officially declare wars, but somehow we lost that thing. We just started involved in conflicts and peacekeeping. The thing that I found it bizarre in America is that the president can actually drone strike someone in Germany. Like, it has the legal capacity to do so. Let me ask ChatGPT. So, purely hypothetical, if the US president wanted to drone strike a target in Germany without Congress through executive order, would it be legal and possible? Hold on. Just yes or no. Apparently, yes. So, there you go. I think, like, Obama, was it? Like, was it Obama or Joe Biden? I forgot which one of them. But they drone striked an American citizen. It was in the Middle East, though. But, like, one of the people that suffered the collateral damage was an American citizen. And it's like, okay. Did anyone get fired? Did anyone get arrested? No. I see. As long as the person is identified as an immediate threat, they can do anyone, anywhere, including American citizens. Jesus. Oh, was it Obama? Was it both? See, like, a lot of people don't consider. It's like, oh, I know it was Obama, but could have been Joe Biden as well. As long as it's legal. Yeah, I mean, the Supreme Court did say that you get immunity, so. Which, again, is something that I always thought it's understood. Like, they're not going to arrest Obama over drone striking, right? I mean, how do you use ChatGPT so easily on your PC? I mean, you go to the website and you ask it questions. It's really like a search engine. I don't know why people attribute mystical powers to ChatGPT, and they're like, oh my god, you're using the AI. It's a search engine, and it's better than Google. It's not perfect. I still know when it bullshits to me, or I expect it to bullshit to me in some cases. But most of the time, ChatGPT is better than Google at searching things. It's like, if you want, like, for instance, the things that I asked it, right? When is the last time someone entered the Kaaba? I mean, if I go that on Google, I get like 5 or 6 websites I need to click. I need to start reading forums and shit. Meanwhile, ChatGPT just told me, and it's like 1941. It's like, okay, I'm pretty sure that's the actual correct answer. We're kind of past voting. It's Minecrafting or GTFO at this point. Not really. I mean, if they genuinely thought that you're kind of past voting, they wouldn't be against Trump so much. Obviously you're not going to get exactly what you want. Like if you're a extreme right winger, right? Let's not use the word far right. But like if you're very nationalistic, very right wing, you're not going to manage to be satisfied by Trump. But if you vote Trump and let's say he gets in, and he goes for 4 years, then you get like J.D. Vance, which is more right wing than Trump, and then you get someone more right wing than him. Like eventually you reach the point where you want. If you look at the left, you know, like the left didn't get trans people at the Olympics overnight. Like it required decades. And this is what right-wingers don't want to understand. That I keep seeing right-wingers attacking Trump and be like, Trump is this, is that. It's like, okay, then let Joe Biden have another 4 years, or in this case, Kamala Harris, right? Like, if you generally hate Trump, but, like, you want Kamala Harris to be in, it's like, and you're a right-winger, okay. Because this is the thing that I don't get. It's like, all right, so you don't like Kamala Harris and you don't like Trump, which means you don't care. So if you don't care, just shut the fuck up. Why are you just attacking your guy? Why are you not attacking the other guy? Yeah, the thing with Kamala, my fucking god, the astroturfing is so fucking real. Like you cannot possibly tell me that you have the lowest approval of any vice president in the history of America. Please correct me on this. Actually, you know what? I'm going to ask ChatGPT again. Is Kamala Harris the lowest VP approval rate? In 2023. Okay, so the lowest approval rate of any US vice president in recorded polling history. Like, this woman broke records. She was the first woman ever to be the lowest approval rate of any US vice president, right? And this was going on in 2023. It was the same in 2024. It was literally one day before Biden decided to step down. And yet, despite all of that, you want me to believe that Kamala Harris is now more popular than Trump, according to some polls. Like, she witnessed a meteoric rock star rise to fame and is more popular than Donald Trump. And nothing happened. Like, she didn't go through an assassination attempt. She didn't reveal some new policy that is bewildering people. Trump didn't make any sort of like gaffes. There's no evidence that came out against Trump. No grab him by the pussy this time around, right? Like none of that, and nothing happened. Nothing changed. But now she's actually polling better. Get fucked. Sorry about that. I don't fucking believe it, chat. I just don't. I gave you a coin. You give me buyer's remorse. Is the deal? Is the deal, Rasmus? It's just the way it works. Ask GPT, who is more popular, Kamala or Trump? Yeah, you know what, I'll ask. Who is currently more popular, Kamala or Trump? It's searching the web, so it's like... Trump is slightly more popular than Kamala Harris. In a hypothetical head-to-head matchup, Trump led Harris with 49% support, while she is with 47%. Both figures have significant disapproval ratings, but Trump currently holds a margin better. How do you explain that she got from the least popular VP to where she is now? Increased visibility and experience, political and strategic adjustments, shift in public opinion. What caused the shift in public opinion? But basically, ChatGPT is not wrong. He's saying because the media is shilling her like crazy and she's getting astroturf. This is like what is trying to explain to me in nicer terms. Policy successes and legislative wins. No, I refuse to believe that. Public relations and media strategy. Increased public engagement. Yeah, like basically ChatGPT is saying, yeah, she's getting astroturf. It's the mainstream media just propping her up. That's why she's famous. Power of what could be unburdened by what has been. You know what? Okay. Explain what could be unburdened, what has been means. Explain what this means. The phrase unburdened by what has been suggests a mindset of approach that focuses on moving forward without being weighted down by past experiences, mistakes, or limitations. It implies a fresh start. Jesus fucking Christ. I would have never guessed. What was she successful as a border czar? See, at least ChatGPT recognizes that she was the border czar. They say that it's with mixed reviews. Was she successful as an AI czar? Do you feel violated by her, ChatGPT? As of now, Kamala Harris has not been specifically appointed as an AI czar, nor has she been publicly associated. As for feeling violated, ChatGPT or similar technologies, these AI systems are designed to assist. They do not have intentions or feelings, and they do not operate. Trust me, ChatGPT, if she was the czar, she would find a way to make you feel as such. I understand your concern. As an AI, my purpose is to provide assistance and information, blah, blah, blah. Don't say that to the chat, but it probably won't be able to sleep at night now. Anyway, I'll end it here. Need to go work on my project. So, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate the donations. Hopefully you like the stream. And I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.